Continuing Adam's story. Growing up, the weight of his community not only rested on him outside of his home, but inside also. One of 4 boys, he felt the burden that his mother carried, desiring to keep them safe from the violence and pressure that plagued their community.
My mom, she didn't want us out there in the streets and stuff like that, so she tried to create an environment within the home to where it was like, you guys never have to go out, you know what I'm saying? Here your Super Nintendo, here this, here's your Sega.
Out of the 4, it was only Adam and his brother Jacob that escaped the pressure and chose to serve in the United States military. Adam the Marines and Jacob the Army.
He was always the one that was pretty much there with me because he was out. You know, so he would take and want to do brotherly things, try and challenge me in whatever kind of ways or whatnot. Come on, man, bet you can't do this.
Adam and Jacob spent time watching shows together, drawing together, even deciding to join the military together. The two, not just brothers, but best friends.
We were close, yeah.
And you two, you said that you both were the kind of on the same.
Exactly, we were on the same path. We was more so parallel. You know,
right.
As far as what we wanted for our lives.
One evening in 2010, Adam and Jacob end their phone conversation with laughs, only for Adam to receive a life-changing phone call the next morning.
I went to my part-time job because I was working 2 jobs. And, I get a call. Hey, Jacob's dead. I'm like, hold on, wait, huh? What you say? Okay. He made a permanent decision for a temporary situation, and I'm not even sure what that situation was. That's how unclear it was. All I know is that, it's done, and he's no longer with us.
Though Adam has faced many challenges, today he strives to remain motivated to accomplish his goals, and also to instill positive values in his children.
Self-discipline is huge. It's really huge.
It's huge for everyone, but
everyone.
How important do you think it is huge for your black children?
You have to be better to be black. You know what I'm saying? You have to be better because you already, the way that things are structured, it sucks. This, it's not right. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're living, and you're going to have to, you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, Adam, he definitely had a powerful story to share. And, I'm grateful for everything, everything he's doing right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't diminish, the things that do happen, the burdens that parents carry within the inner city black communities. So how common is this type of story? Maybe not the exact same, but how common is this type of story within the inner city black communities with the drugs, the violence? Even as far as, certain, you could mental illness, call it for what it is, but then, just keeping things in our heads. You know what I mean? How common is this?
Right. I have personal experience with, poverty and definitely drugs and crime at a first hand. I lived in a van with my mom for a year and a half. I missed school, all types of things. I was taking baths in Taco Bell restaurants. I was trying to sneak into rec centers to sleep. I done been through a lot. I've been to 5 different high schools. The ultimate goal is to escape. Mm-hmm. It's always to get away, and it's whatever you have to do. And I chose basketball as my escape route, and it took me where I wanted to go, and it dropped me off to make me become a better man. I never really the relationship in his story with his parents. I commend his mom to a certain extent because my mom at 14, my mom forced me to be an adult. So I can never understand why, as far as the suicide thing, I never ever realized. I couldn't fathom the thought of one of my friends doing that.
So something that you just said, and I believe Emily said earlier, with the growing up fest, how common is it for a young black child to take on the responsibility of maturity, and technically before time? before
Right.
they technically should. How common is that?
I would say that that's extremely common, especially when it comes to struggle. So when your mother is struggling, you just want to help her. So you like, I gotta get a job, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I know for me, growing up and watching my mom struggle, it was common for me to go ahead and grow up because I had to figure out a way to make money so we can eat. I had to figure out a way to make money so that I can help my mother, my brothers, and my sisters who we sit here hungry looking at one another. So I started doing hair at the age of 12. I was bringing in a lot of money. That's when cornrows was out and Mario. So I was doing all of this. Braid my hair, y'all remember that? So
it was like playing in the background.
Right. Yeah. So I would do the guys out the neighborhood. I would like cornrow their hair.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want $15. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that hustle comes in, and then you like, we gotta eat. I gotta get school clothes. I gotta get shoes. I gotta do this, and I can relate to your story because. Growing up, me, my brother, and my sister, we were homeless too. It was hotel from hotel, and hopefully that we can get into one this night. And it happened for years. Yeah. So it played a something. It was mental, like a mental thing. Yeah. So I started to write. I went to Booker T. I didn't want to go to Booker T. I used to fight a lot in school, and I felt like if I go to Booker T, I'm gonna have to fight. Like if I do this, I'm gonna still have to fight, and I didn't want to fight anymore. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to have to defend myself. I didn't want to have to feel like, oh, I gotta be brave, and even though my shoes ain't like everybody else's, I can't let nobody punk me or joke me. So that growing up fast, like you grow up. And like that, because you have to put on that survival, you have to put on that hustle that you learn just from struggle.
Right. And I think you presented it where you wanted to help, but there's also a flip side to that where the parent puts that pressure on the child, even from a small child. If there's mom and dad breaks up or mom and dad divorces. The mother, sometimes we hear mothers go, my son is all I need and you the man, and you don't think that does anything to them because they're just words, but the more you hear it, the more it becomes a part of who they are, and it shapes the way they grow up, and then they grow up thinking, I'm the man, I gotta be the man, I gotta protect, I gotta provide, and that's not their job. A child is supposed to be a child. And that is unfortunately a part of the culture, especially when you deal with single parenting. The child wants to, they grow up thinking that, I have to be an adult. I know that personally, when my mother and my father went through a divorce, I was sad to see my mom go through that. So I had to be the strong one. I had to keep the family together. And in turn, you think that that you're displaying strength, but you're really weak inside. You're really broken inside.
So we want to move this conversation along. So my question is, are there ways or solutions that can help put a positive shift in these inner city communities?
I definitely think so. I think even us having this conversation, making it available to people, is very important and essential because they see people from different walks of life, all sharing the same experiences, similar experiences, but also making something out of it, positive.
Okay. So we understand that positivity needs to take place, and I think we said before that that individuals might or may not be receptive. So why do you believe that individuals may not be receptive to a particular change in perspective? Because ultimately, would we agree that it's all about one's perspective or the way one is, thinking or perceiving situations?
Trends, actually, when somebody gets the habit of doing something, they feel like that's what's right. It's like you ever grew up having a childish conversation was like, well, my mama said, that's one of those things. But I promise you, my mom went wrong till I was 7 years old. I didn't believe nothing nobody said with my mom. So but the thing is providing a change for the popular, by popular demand. The problem we have is we're so conformed to our culture because we enjoy it. But what we don't understand is that it's more for us than what we have going on. But I think if we could make positivity the trend, the actual popular way to be, I think that'll be one of the ways we can get into it, is just introduce people to different things.
Yeah. And not just say it, but be it.
Definitely, definitely.
You know, especially, you know, in my field, being like a yoga instructor and doing meditation and spreading positivity out. There are some people who say they are positive and they're trying to spread that message, but you know, they go home and they're just they're not what they speak to others. So to actually be it is important.
Right. And changing our talk, our language. And I don't mean like our language literally, but just changing how we talk. Like, have you ever heard people say that? I just say every day, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Like sometimes around us, maybe it's in a post office, grocery store, whatever. Just like, hey, you're gonna make it. You know, encourage somebody around you. I just think just pour positivity as much as we can to people we know, people we don't know, and just let it just bloom and blossom on its own.
Right. Right. Just like Emily said, have a positive demeanor going into it, not just saying it. Like, don't tell somebody, hey, I'm here for you, and then when they need you, you know where to be found.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my honest opinion. Like, you have to walk it and talk it. In the words of Amigos. You gotta walk it like you talk it and everything. And one thing about me is, if I see you going through something, I'll reach before you reach, because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
But if I reach and you deny me, I can't force you to take help.
Right.
So we gotta also be open as people. We gotta be open.
Yeah, and it helps to just ask people, how are you? And people always say, oh, I'm good, or I'm blessed to have a thing. No, how are you?
How are you? Right. Yes.
And actually be there and listen, because people will have so much stored in them. They just need a release. And listen more than you talk.
What are some ways that each of you may reflect this positive change, and just in general, with whether it's your community, your family, your home, for your children? You know what I mean? What are some ways?
Well, for me, in order to do that, I will have to start within myself first, because like right now, I hang around people that are at the same level as me, and I feel like hanging with them are not going to allow me to grow as a person. So that's something I'm dealing with, and I want to be around people who are going, I want to be a nurse, so I need to be around more driven people that are in college, because right now my surroundings, they're just working. It's day by day for them. They're paying rent, it's nothing like, none of my friends are really in college right now. So it's like I'm the only one, and that's like hindering me from being what I really want to be and growing into the woman that I want to become. So that's what I need to work on.
What do we consider success?
Right.
How do we perceive how success looks? Right.
We might have got to one destination and not looking to get to the next, because we so and that's there you go, content.
And to piggyback, not only how do we see it or what does it look like, but if we knew what it looked like, are we willing to take the necessary steps to get it?
Exactly.
And with that being said, I hate to bring this to a close.
That was really
but it's not technically closing, because like I said, we're going to talk about each small topic, in depth in future shows. So our goal here for the show is to talk about ways to shift perspectives and provide insight on how we as a community can add more to the numbers of rising out of poverty. That is our goal. It's not to bash, it's not to say, oh my gosh, the Black community is doing wrong. It's to acknowledge that 22% of our community is in poverty, and how can we add to the numbers of rising out, and how can we decrease that percentage? We might not be able to change the whole world, but we can sure enough, give perspectives on how to help.
Better yet, are we willing to do it?
Right. And so I believe, there's a way for more of us to climb out and stay out, and for our families to stay out. So keep watching Her Chronicles. Each week we will present a new strategy, a new perspective, to be introduced to assist in climbing out and staying out. It doesn't mean that obstacles won't come. Doesn't mean obstacles won't, be there. But it does mean that there are certain tools and a new way of thinking that can assist in these challenges. So, thank you for tuning in to Her Chronicles, the topic of growing up Black. I'm Chantel Athena.
Coming up next on Her Chronicles.